Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruze, #1 best-selling author, host of The Rachel Cruze Show, co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour, 2 big hits on the Ramsey Networks, and my daughter, she's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Tasha's with us in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, Tasha, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I just had a question. I do suffer from a little financial PTSD from the past, and my husband and I have both worked through that. We do not have any credit card debt. We own our own homes. We both work. We have no car payments. However,
sounds like a good disease to me.
It actually is, and that's why this next part is the problem. My husband finally has got his 25 years in. He desires to work 2 more years before retirement, but he has started a new side job, and it has done very well. But with that, he has blown through a substantial amount of our savings, and now he wants to blow into our retirement. And I don't know if I'm being selfish because of the past trauma of the credit card debt, et cetera, that we had. But
okay, so I'm a little bit confused. There's 2 competing sentences here. He's doing extremely well, but he's blown through a substantial part of our savings. Those 2 things don't go together. So is he doing well, or is he blown through the savings? Which is it?
He's doing both. He currently works a full-time job.
I know, I heard that. But the side gig, how much savings has he used up? How much money?
Well, with the FEMA equipment, about $140,000.
The what equipment?
The FEMA equipment.
FEMA.
Like FEMA, yes.
So
FEMA,
what's he doing?
For the, like in North Carolina, like the cleanup for the flooding disaster areas. So like North Carolina, Kentucky, those places.
Yeah, you could clean up flooding cheaper than $140,000 in equipment. What did he buy?
He bought excavators, backhoes, pressure washer equipment, that sort of thing, to kind of, I guess, just to work with the damage to clear everything up.
And you're in Louisville?
Yes.
And
yes,
he's
sir.
in North Carolina?
No. He goes to the places that are flooded and that with catastrophic events, and he's done that for a couple of years.
So how much money has he made since he's done really well?
About $150, roughly. About $150.
So he's not doing really well. He's broken. He's broke even.
Well, with his regular job that he
No, honey. I don't care about his regular job. When you open a business and you spend $140,000 to make $150, that's not doing well.
Right.
That's breaking even.
That's kind of the. Well, that's kind of the point that he and I have been going back and forth about.
That's approaching a hobby.
Well, he's off. That to me is kind of how I envision it. But he's also now wanting to add to his collection of things to me that he just admires. I don't know
when we're not
why.
making money.
It's been
even if you've got $2 million in your retirement, I would not do that as a business owner who coaches 10,000 business owners. I tell people to add to equipment only when you're getting an ROI. He's not getting an ROI yet. He's not getting a rate of return yet.
Right. How old are you guys?
He is 48 and I'm 43, and we both have federal jobs that are very good, but the side job is kind of where it's thrown everything off, because we had like everything that we have paid for the side job is what we want to call it, has came out of our savings.
So here's the way I would do it if I were him, not you. Okay. If I were him, if you used $140,000 of your savings to start a business, I would not buy more equipment until I put that $140 back in savings.
Okay.
and then I would pay cash for, out of the business only, any other equipment.
See, that right there is where, because we do have about $89,000 in savings, and then the two pieces of equipment that he's wanting would completely wipe that out.
No,
and
absolutely not.
I am a saver.
It's not anything to do with that. It's got to do with, that's bad business practice. It's a bad way to run a business.
How long has he had this open?
When you're losing a quarter of watermelon, you don't get a bigger truck.
He's had this open since last June.
So it's been a year.
So I support you wanting to be in business, honey, and I want you to be successful in business. The definition of success in business is making money, profit. And so far, you've made $10,000 profit. When you put the $140 back in savings, whatever money you make on this side business, if you want to put it all back into equipment, that's fine. But we're not taking any more out of savings. I'm not okay with that, because it's bad business practice.
Okay.
He's falling into the shinier thing. If I get more and more piece of equipment, I'll be able to make a profit. And no, you need to learn how to make a profit with $140,000 worth of equipment you got.
Yeah,
when you can start making money with that, then take that money and buy some more equipment.
And Tasha, I hope you're hearing this, that this is, regardless, this is not you having a traumatic financial event and it's causing this angst amongst you. Like, this is just kind of common sense, right? So separate the two. Even if you never had any level of these like moments, nightmarish stuff with money, and you always were great, this would still be stupid, right?
It's not the difference in a spender and a saver.
Yes, yeah.
It's not a personality thing. It's not a history thing. It's just a stupid thing. Just don't do it.
So how do I explain, apart from it being a stupid financial decision?
Yeah. Well, businesses are supposed to be profitable, honey. And when the business is profitable, meaning you put the $140 back in our savings, then if that business continues to make money, we can buy equipment out of the money it makes.
It's called at the speed of cash.
Yeah, we grow this business, side business, at the speed that it produces cash.
That you're dipping into retirement at your age.
Because what you're doing is you're masking over the fact that this so far is a failure.
Well, the issue that I'm having with him as far as understanding that, because I do know that is not a smart business decision, to be pretty much, like you said, just making $10,000 in a year from that, is that, he has worked so long. He's like, well, I have X amount in retirement. Well, we still have to be able to live after
Do you
retirement.
want some wine with that cheese?
Exactly.
Seriously, call the ambulance. I work really so hard. We all work hard.
Well, we managed to pay in 3 years almost $91,000 in credit card debt off.
That's right. That's how you're supposed to do it. I think he probably has a business that will work, but he needs to prove it.
He needs to slow down.
He needs to prove it.
Right.
You can't buy enough equipment to make something successful. You have to make it successful and then buy the equipment. That's just bullcrap. And people do this stuff all the time in business and they go broke. And it's just not wise. Please. You guys got to keep having the fight. And it's not because you're damaged goods with PTSD or something. That's not Rachel's right about that. Rachel's dead on. This is bad business practice. Simple. Regardless of how we got to this point, it's a bad business practice.
Ever look at your phone bill and feel like you're trying to decode a top secret message? $17.42 for advanced signal optimization. What even is that? Well, luckily, Boost Mobile keeps it simple. Just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data with no contracts, absolutely zero nonsense, and a price that's guaranteed forever. Plus, Boost backs it up with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it without feeling trapped. Go to boostmobile.com/Ramsey to make the switch today. That's boostmobile.com/Ramsey.
Restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com/Ramsey for details.
Mike's in Atlanta. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thank you guys for taking my call.
Sure.
So I'm going to be straightforward with my question. Me and my wife, we have $70,000 in debt, and I'm not so sure if we should file bankruptcy or not.
How many $1,000 in debt?
All right, 70,000.
Oh, 70. Okay, on what?
70. Yes, so the breakdown is $50K on a car repo, $10K in credit card, $5 on medical, and $5 in another car loan.
Okay. Are you? What do you guys make? What's your household income?
All right, so my household income is $72K yearly, and take home pay $6K a month.
Your wife work?
Yes, me and my wife work.
Okay. What do you do?
We both bankers.
You're bankers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because you're not making much money.
No, we're not at all. We're not making much money at all. So we're looking in the next few months to get a promotion so we can bump it up for at least $80K each.
Yeah. Okay.
Each? So 160?
Yes, in a few months from now, but we're not so sure yet. So it might take right around like about a year.
Okay. Well, the good news is that
on the top of all that, we do have to replace a transmission on the car that we have right now, and it's worth $4,000 that they're charging us.
Okay. Well, you're scared and you're overwhelmed and you're behind on bills, but you're not bankrupt mathematically. Okay. Because you can settle. Number one, you're not paying anything on the car repo today.
No, we're not. So as a matter of fact, all these debt, it's because I recently got married with my wife, and she carried all these debt into our marriage, but I knew from the beginning. So I'm just trying to...
Oh, so these are all old debts?
Yes.
They're all behind?
That's all from her.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all behind.
Well, old debts can be settled for pennies on the dollar.
That's what I heard from you.
Okay. And so, and a car repo of $50,000 probably means that's not the actual deficit. That probably means that was the total loan on the car.
Exactly.
Okay. So then they sold the car for something, and the difference is what you technically owe, not the total.
Okay.
And then you can settle that for somewhere around a quarter on the dollar.
Okay.
So let's pretend that they sold that car for $20,000.
Okay.
At the repo lot, because it probably was a $30,000 or $35,000 car. Does that sound right?
Yes.
I'm guessing, but I'm probably not that far off. So they sold it for $20,000. She owed $50,000, so now she owes $30,000. You don't owe anything because you didn't sign for this car.
No, I did not.
Okay, so that's where the fun comes in. This is where it gets cute. So you're going to make the phone call when you're ready, but not now, and say, what's the deficit? And they're going to say $30,000. And you're going to start laughing when they say that and say, well, you know, all you've got's my wife, and she makes $25,000 a year. You're not going to get paid, dude. I'm in the banking business, and you're not going to get your money. So I tell you what we can do, though. I will put some money towards this because I've married her, and you know, I'll give you guys $6,000.
Oh.
So offer them 15 cents on the dollar and plan to settle around 25 cents on the dollar.
Okay.
But you got to have that money scraped together from living on nothing and piling up cash. And that's your big one, by the way.
Being very nice.
That's the big one. So what we're going to do is do a debt snowball, but do a different kind. Normally the debt snowball is you pay minimum payments on everything but the little one and attack the little one in that order, right?
Okay, yes.
But these are all bad debts, so we're not paying on them now. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to list them smallest to largest, and we're going to settle the smallest one first. Or just pay it, one of the two. If you got a little $200 medical bill, don't screw around with it. Just pay it.
That's $5,000. And the cars, are you guys current on the car, Mike? The $5,000?
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah, you need to get that paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that paid off and then start clearing those medical bills, then clear the credit card, and then call the repo people.
Okay.
But the repo people aren't going to do anything. They're the slowest on the planet, the dumbest on the planet. So they're not even aggressive. They're just, you know, the credit card people are aggressive. They'll at least call you names and your mother names and other stuff. But the repo people they're just like a slug. So Unless it's one of those tote the note lots, and then they're super aggressive. But that's probably not what this is. So anyway, yeah, that's you settle it for. So here's the thing. So if we settle the car for $7,000 or $8,000, we settle the credit cards for $5,000. We pay the others. It's $20,000, and you're out of debt.
Yes, and I do have to replace the transmission of the car now. So
That's fine. Go ahead and take care of it. Go ahead and get the car fixed. Yeah, and shop around. That's not a dealer quote, is it?
No, it's not.
A good local mechanic, right?
Yes, I got like a quote from like 2 mechanics around.
What kind of car is that?
It was a Ford Fusion. It has 200,000 miles on it. I don't even know if it's worth it.
It might not be, but so don't put a new transmission in it. Put a rebuilt in it. They're half the price.
Okay.
Or have them buy one from the salvage yard out of a wrecked Ford Fusion, and put a used one in that's not even rebuilt, and that's even cheaper. You might get that for $500 to $1,000.
Mike, do y'all have any cash?
Yeah, we do. Like I would say probably like $3,000, $4,000.
Yeah, I think you can get this transmission fixed for less than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get a used one from a salvage yard. Get your local mechanic to put it in, and because this car isn't worth spending much on.
Okay.
And let's get it up and running, and then you guys roll up your sleeves and take side gigs and push for these promotions. And then you just got to plow through about $20,000 of this, and with a system, and you take care of food, shelter, clothing, transportation. Get on a budget, and the two of you are living on a budget. You're not going out to eat. You're not going on vacation. You're broke and almost bankrupt. We're not talking about those things. So we're cleaning up this mess. Okay, you can do this.
I just want to be able to, in the future, be like you guys. I've been watching Rachel, you, Dave, and everything. It's just like down the road, like maybe 10 years from now, not living in this fear and, being scared all the time.
You'll get there faster than 10 years, Mike.
Yeah, it's 10 months.
You'll do this.
It's 10 months.
You guys, how long have you guys been married? A few months?
Probably, like 4 months, 4 to 5.
Okay, yeah. So you're newlyweds. You're figuring this out.
So she comes in the house and opens up a suitcase full of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
She was carrying the bricks around. They're dating. It wasn't
a surprise.
He
knew they were there.
Yeah, he
wasn't surprised. She told him they were there.
Yeah,
but they're heavy.
They are heavy, and
they're still heavy. She's worth it. She's worth it. Help her clean it up. That's fine. She told the truth. You knew what you were getting into. You signed up. This is your dowry. Get after it.
Yeah, and Mike, I think this is too. We find with couples in general, but I think especially newlyweds, like this first season of marriage. This is a huge mountain for you guys to climb together, and what this will do from being unified going forward, like you guys are doing one of the scariest things. I mean, you called and asked if you guys were going to file for bankruptcy. Like that's how at the bottom you feel. And you guys climbing out of this together is going to sustain something really beautiful. I mean, seriously, there's so much about suffering, and when you do that together and you kind of hit that bottom, what is planted out of that? And the character qualities and what you guys will go through, it's just, it is amazing. So honestly, it's, if there's a flip side of it, you can see this as a gift if you choose to look at it that way. And you guys do go on this journey together, because I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you knew all this was there. You married her, and you said, this is what I want to do. You're a stud, man. You got a big backbone. You can do this. You signed up for it on purpose. And I that tells me you got the stuff right there. That's not a guy that's a wuss would have run. Yeah,
and your incomes. I know you mentioned the raises.
You got to get them up.
Yeah,
you got to get them up.
I mean, both of you guys making 70 together. I'm like, as banker, you guys can do better. You can do better. So push through. And if not, then it's going to be side hustles at night. But that'll be worth it. Is to get out of this as quickly as possible.
Hey, hang on. Christian's going to pick up. We're going to get you signed up for Every Dollar Premium and get you into Financial Peace University, and make sure you get those budgets going and that you follow the exact steps on pushing through this that we just outlined. And if you do that, you can get through this. I know you can.
Hey, this is Dr. John Deloney for Churchill Mortgage. Good friends, I have bought multiple homes with Churchill Mortgage because they always shoot straight with me. They tell me the truth. So let me shoot straight with you. When you're getting ready to buy a home, the first step is not house hunting, it's making a plan. Don't settle for tapping a button and just talking to a bot. I want to encourage you to sit down with a guide you can trust, my friends at Churchill Mortgage. They actually see you, they actually care about you, and they'll listen and learn your goals, and most importantly, they will tell you the truth. Churchill has loan experts who focus on you and your unique situation, so your journey ends with a home that's a blessing, not a burden. Churchill Mortgage can even help you become a certified home buyer so that when the time is right and you find the right house, you're ready to make your move. I know the housing market is tough right now. I know, but you probably have more options than you think. Churchill would love to help you figure them out, and they'll do it with honesty and integrity. Learn more at churchillmortgage.com.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100. Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
Jan is in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Jan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Well, hello there. Say, my question is whether or not it would be a wise move to get solar panels. And the reason that we're considering it, we've been solicited heavily in the past and currently as well, but our local utility company has recently had an 18% increase. And then it's projected to be like a 4% increase each.
Okay, can you do 100% replacement of your power?
No.
No. What percentage can you do?
98%.
Oh, you can replace 98% of your power usage with solar.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the break-even period on it?
About 7 years.
No, I wouldn't do it.
No, that's too long?
Yes, it's too long.
So if we add more panels, it would be more expensive. Would that change anything? It would up the percentage.
If you can get it to where whatever you're buying, whatever percentage it is that you're buying, if you can get it to break even and you pay cash for them and you can get to break even in 3 to 5 years, I would consider it. And the reason is solar panels are technology. I endorse solar panel companies in several cities, okay? I don't think Portland, Oregon is one of them that I remember, but so I'm not against solar. Don't misunderstand. But there's two things that the solar people do that are wrong that you should not do. One is they want you to finance it, and the savings is going to pay the payment for you. Well, bullcrap. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah. That puts a lien on your house, and now you got this stuff attached to your house. You can't sell your house. You're screwed up. No, pay cash for it or don't do it. Number one. Number two, solar panels have been. How old are you?
70.
Yeah, I'm 64. So this has been a subject that's been around for 40 years. Agreed?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, and guess what? During that 40 years, the efficiency and effectiveness of the technology on the solar panels has gone way up. The solar panels of today versus the solar panels of even 5 years ago are like a 5-year-old computer or a 5-year-old cell phone.
Okay.
So 7 years from now, your solar panels are going to be a flip phone.
Oh, okay.
The technology is going to be completely outdated, and performing at 10 or 20% of what the new ones are. I'm making that number up, but the technology is all technology and everything is advancing. Solar panels are technology; they're advancing. And they're an alternative energy source, so everybody's trying to help them advance. Everybody's doing their R&D because there's tax credits everywhere. Everybody, the government will give you, the state will give you money back. The federal government will give you money back. All this stuff. Everybody's trying to push this out there, and so there's all kinds of money flying around this to make them better. So they're going to get better than they are today, and they are today better than they were yesterday. So don't buy a computer that goes, I break even on the computer. in 7 years. Buy a computer, you break even on it in 3 years. Don't buy a cell phone that you don't plan to throw away in about 3 years.
So in the meantime, at this age, we still have a pretty exorbitant utility bill.
Yeah, but this doesn't solve it.
Because
you're paying enough money to break even in 7 years. You're paying 7 times as much as your utility bill today in order to install these stinking things.
Oh, okay. I see.
Your money's already out of your pocket times 7.
Do you guys have the money for it, Jan, if you wanted to? Could you write a check for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So, yeah, I would keep working with the different companies until they look at it. And it may be your electricity has to go up even further before it makes sense, or the solar panels got to increase in efficiency before it makes sense. But there might be a 50% or a 68% percentage that breaks even in 3 to 5 years. I would do that in your case.
Oh, okay. But in the meantime, just kind of put up and shut up with this, these increases.
Well, there's nothing you can do about them. I mean,
and we're super frugal. I mean, we're not wasteful with our utility expenses.
No, which makes you super mad at these people for doing this. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. And it's kind of like one of those things, okay, well, I'll show them. I'll just get solar panels, but evidently maybe that's
well, I don't want to show them by cutting off my finger. No, that's...
No,
that's not... No.
Yeah, so maybe you price things around, Jan. I mean, honestly, and if you can get the numbers to work with a company to that 5-year break even.
Or maybe they come down on their price because you're paying cash up front.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a good idea because we've gotten lots of bids, and we did decide to go with a company that
they're very enthusiastic in their sales.
Sure, yes. And most of them want you to finance because I think that's where they make the money, but we weren't interested in that. But it still sounds like we either, if it did increase the production, that still is not really a positive.
I don't care what the number is, as long as you get your money back in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
And Jan, with your utilities raising year after year, it may fast forward that. If you look up and you guys are paying a ton for utilities more and more, that increase can show back into that 3 to 5 year timeline too.
Oh, I see. Because
if they go up 18% next year, it's going to make it faster.
Okay, faster. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be dense, but
you're not.
Explain that.
You're doing good. You did great.
Well, in order to get to the 3 to 5 year break even, making sure that you get your investments worth. That means if your utilities continue to raise year after year, they're more expensive. Which means if the solar panels stay at the same price, then it's gonna offset it sooner.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm saying
your break even analysis changes. It's not a linear math problem. It's a math problem on a curve.
Yep.
So, and it changes it. Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
It's a good question, though.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And I'm proud of you for doing cash, because that is one thing. We will get people that have solar panels to their homes, and it's a loan, and it's this whole thing, yes, when they're trying to sell, which is so frustrating.
Then they're stuck. Whew, there we go. All right, open phones at 888-825-5225. Cameron is in Dallas. Hey, Cameron, how are you?
Hey, I'm better than I deserve, Dave. Thank you, Dave and Rachel, for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
Well, my wife and I, we've been dreaming about upgrading our home for something a little bigger, maybe a little more functional. And here's my question. Would it be stupid for us to tap into the Roth principal that we've contributed over several years to buy a better house in cash without the burden of another mortgage, so that we can keep enjoying that baby step 7 freedom that you're always talking about?
No, well, the other way is not buy the house.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay.
That's true.
So you've got options here. No, I wouldn't cash out my Roth. The Roth's growing tax free. You don't have anything else on the planet doing that. No.
That's true.
No, I don't want to lose the power of that thing. That's going to be so much stinking tax free money in a few years, and you're not 59 and a half, right?
No, I'm 36.
I thought so. Yeah. Okay. What's your household income?
71,000.
Okay. And what's the move up going to cost?
I've got a paid off house that's $250, and we'd be looking to move into a $450.
Okay. So you need $200K. How much do you have non-Roth to put towards that?
I sell the house for $250.
No, I'm saying, you need the other $200.
My mother was recently widowed, and she wants to move in with us. She'd be bringing $100K, and if I pulled out my principal from my Roth, that'd be another $100.
Ah, okay. And I'm assuming she does not have $200.
No. She was recently foreclosed on. She won't be buying anything anytime soon.
Well, you could go to $350.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you to do that. I wouldn't do it. And so I don't tell people to do stuff I wouldn't do. I get the time-sensitive pressure now. Mom's homeless and has $100K, and that's different than I want to wait 3 years. You're waiting 3 years, she got a problem. And if your wife wants her to move in, and you want her to move in,
she takes her $100K in rents for 6 months to a year, and you guys build up more savings. I mean,
yeah. I'm not going to tell you to cash out a Roth because I personally wouldn't do it. I would either not move or I would find some other way to skin the cat.
sticking to a budget is hard enough, and inflation, George, it isn't helping us.
Yep. In fact, 54% of Americans say it's a challenge to save on groceries without sacrificing quality. But Aldi makes it easy.
Aldi's private label, it is delicious food with incredible prices that you can stay within your budget.
Yeah, and Aldi has the lowest prices of any national grocery store, which is really impressive. And with all the money you saved, you're going to be making more progress toward your financial goals.
Yes, which is what we want for you guys. So stop overpaying and start shopping at Aldi. Find a store near you today at aldi.us. That's ALDI.us.
Two weekends are on sale right now for the Money and Marriage Getaway. Rachel Cruze right here, and Dr. John Deloney do this a couple times a year. It is a full weekend event, and it is an amazing event. 3 incredible days here in Nashville on the Ramsey campus to strengthen your money and your wealth building, your connection, deepen your intimacy, and more. Tickets start at $749 a couple. Get tickets for the lowest price before they end at RamseySolutions.com/getaway, or click the link in your show notes if you're listening on YouTube or podcast. These things are selling out. The November's just about gone.
Yes. Yeah, these are great weekends. We actually have a couple in the lobby. They've been to 3. They are Money and Marriage alums. It's a event that so many people repeat. We end up selling like 60% of it at the event for the next event because people always want to come back. So Dr. John Deloney and myself, and we have fun, y'all. It's a fun weekend.
You guys are. It's like stand-up comedy almost in there.
It's that, and we get real. We cut down to it, like to the real stuff. And so it's not your typical marriage conference. I'll say that much. It's good.
Not with you two. Samantha's in Fort Worth. Hey, Samantha.
Hi.
Hi. How can we help?
I was laid off from my job yesterday.
Oh, Samantha.
I'm sorry. What were you making?
Sorry.
What were you making?
$70,000.
Man.
What happened?
You're so
They had
upset.
a massive layoff. I was there 12 years. A massive layoff.
Oh, my
like
gosh.
No warning, huh?
Oh,
No warning.
What severance did they offer
I
you?
want to hug you.
What severance did they offer you?
I'm getting about $40,000.
Awesome! What were you doing?
I was a billing specialist.
Cool.
Dave's trying to cheer you up.
No, this is the truth. Listen, here's what happens, okay? Once you get through crying, and crying's normal, I don't blame you for that. It's scary, okay? But once you get through crying, go get you a $70,000 job by Friday, and this nets you $40,000. You get a signing bonus, kid.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, listen. There are people all over Fort Worth, Texas, looking for help right now.
What industry was it in, Samantha?
She was a billing specialist.
Well, billing, but like for what?
Energy.
Okay.
You could do billing in anything, huh? Once you know how to do it, you know how to do it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is your Samantha? I'm curious. Is your are your tears? Is it from? Are you scared? Are you hurt? Where's the main emotion coming from?
I'm really hurt. I'm hurt, but then also, too, I was in school and I was due to graduate with my business administration degree in December of 2026. So now they were paying for it. So now I don't have the money to finish school.
Oh, they were paying.
Wait. We're not done. Okay. What happens when you get a job making $90,000? You put $40,000 in your pocket, and the new job pays for your education.
Then I'll be very happy.
Yeah, me too.
And appreciative.
Me too. See, this is what's going to happen. All right. So we don't have to assume that you're not going back to school. Let's assume you are continuing school, and let's assume the next place is paying for it, and the next place is paying you more than you used to make, and you're going to put this $40,000 severance in your pocket. I think this is a net positive. You just hadn't found that place yet, but you hadn't started looking yet because you're still pissed off and hurt and crying. And I don't blame you. It takes a minute to get over that. That's okay. But you get about 48 hours of that, and then let's go find a job.
Okay.
You can do this. You can do this.
Yeah.
Listen, that company does not have a soul. Their letting you go had nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worth less than you were 6 weeks ago. You're worth more than you were 6 weeks ago. 40,000 more. You follow me?
Yes.
Hey, they were paying you $70,000, and they're a horrible company. That tells me that someone else will probably pay you more. Because good companies don't treat people like this and piss on them.
Yeah, and sometimes, Samantha, we do find that if you're in something for so long that you have no idea what else is out there. And so your new position, your new job, it's going to feel new, which change is always a little scary, right? You're going to have to learn some new stuff here or there. Like, I get that. That can be uncomfortable, but it actually could be so much better.
Yeah.
So much of a better even environment, the people, all of it. Like, the whole thing could be an upgrade.
Why were you getting your BA degree, your business administration degree? What were you wanting to do?
So my plan was just to use it to try to get into, honestly, I wanted to get into the, accounting department.
Oh, so you want to go into accounting? Well, this is a good time. You've almost completed your business administration degree. That makes you qualified to move into the accounting department at the next place and make 80. And tell them you want to, and part of the negotiation is they need to pay for you to finish your degree. Most places have some kind of education supplement nowadays, if they're of any size.
Okay.
We pay for people to go to class at Ramsey because it turns out we like smart people around here, and the ones that go to class, this makes them smarter. So hello.
Are you married, Samantha?
No, I'm single.
Okay.
You have any money saved?
Well, I have a son. I have just the $6,000.
Is that your fully funded emergency fund?
No, I was working on it. That's the thing.
Okay, but you're debt free.
You're debt free, and you got $6,000, and they're sending you 40 more.
Correct. Yes.
This is so
outside
awesome.
of my mortgage.
This is so awesome. You're going to look back a year from now and go, the best thing ever happened to me in my life is when those twerps fired me.
Yes.
I'm dead serious, girl. But you need to get your head around that idea instead of the world's going to fall apart because these twerps fired me. Because the world's not going to fall apart unless you deem it. Because you have upside potential here. Mm-hmm. This is God saying, I wanted you to move into accounting faster than you were going to anyway. And now you got kicked out of the nest, so fly, little eagle. That feel good? You can do this.
It does. I just needed to hear it.
If you weren't scared, you wouldn't be normal, but scared's not a bad thing.
And you're valuable out in the marketplace, Samantha. What you were making and 12 years somewhere.
Yeah.
So you have the experience, all of it. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. If you were 22 and you worked somewhere for 6 months and you're like, all right, we got to start over, right? That feels a little different.
Yeah, you might be a barista then, but not now.
Yeah,
no.
You're established. You're good, Samantha. And this gives you so much buffer. And you've put yourself in a position where you have no payments but your mortgage. So you're good. It's not like you have a $700 car payment and credit cards and student loans and all of that could eat into that 40. You have buffer. You have time. You are good. You are good.
The fear comes from a couple of things. One is you have to reframe your mind and say, this is going to turn out good. And the fear comes from the sudden surprise and the chance that it might not turn out good.
Feels like rejection, yeah.
Yeah, the suddenness of this is what is part of what got you. You know, you've had no time to process it. So, not picking on you for being upset, but I am telling you, you got 48 hours of this crying stuff, and then it's time to get with it. Suck it up, girl.
No, my gosh.
No, I'm serious. You need to go.
Samantha, you can
Listen,
call
I'm
me
telling you, fly, illegal, fly, girl. Go get you $80,000 and you call me back laughing. I want to hear from you. Okay, we're going to give you Ken Coleman stuff. Find the work you were wired to do. Take that assessment and make sure you're on track with this thing. And I'm going to send you his book, Paycheck to Purpose, and I'm going to send you his book, Proximity Principle. And I want you to go to kencoleman.com and download all of those job search ideas and how to put together a resume and how to work the proximity principle and go get you a job. And I want you neck deep, 8 hours a day, pounding the pavement. Not just filling out applications, but running down leads and going and getting a job by Monday. Monday. Say Monday, Dave.
Monday, Dave.
You got this. You got this. I know you can do it. I'm not blaming you for being scared, and I'm not blaming you for being mad. I would be both if I were you right now. But the faster you get the other side of this, the more of this money you get to put in your pocket.
Yeah, that's true.
And the more this turns into a positive story rather than
you got this, Samantha.
a spiral. There's no reason to spiral. Spiral
no,
up.
You're going to do great.
Spiral
You're going to do great.
You can do this. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruze, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour, and my daughter is my co-host today. Mackenzie is in Chicago. Hi, Mackenzie. Welcome to The Ramsey Show. Hi. What's up?
Well, I'm calling because I'm kind of in a unique situation. My husband and I have been married for 2 years. We're both college graduates. We are currently, I want to say, about $40,000 in debt. I apologize, I don't have exact numbers because of the situation we're in.
Hey, Mackenzie, are you on speakerphone?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay,
speak directly into your phone then, because you're breaking up. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm speaking right into my phone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, the situation we're in is I've been trying to broach the subject of our finances with my husband. A little bit of background is my husband and I are both college graduates, but not long after I graduated college, I was run over by a car and left permanently disabled.
Oh, my gosh.
I am currently trying to find a job, but I suffer from both seizures. I need a cane. I'm 24 years old, but I need a cane to get around, and it's hard. So my husband does work full time, and I'm filing for disability to try and help offset the bills. But since I do not work, my husband has kind of taken full control of our finances. I'm unaware of where our money goes, and the one thing I know is we're working through maybe step 2. We have our $1,000 emergency
Mackenzie, with the car accident, was there a brain injury?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
yes,
he's taken full control as a service to you because you're not as able to do this. Is that what you're saying?
I have have the mental capacity to understand our budget and finances.
What's the nature of the brain injury then?
It causes seizures.
Oh, that's it.
Yes,
Okay.
it causes seizures. I do have some intellectual deficits, but I did graduate after I was still able to hold a job and do. Sorry, I have some intellectual deficits, but it's not so bad that I don't know what's going on, and I'm coherent.
Okay. I didn't. Well, obviously, we're having a conversation. We knew you were coherent. But I was trying to figure out the motivation of him taking full control of the finances.
Actually, it's because he's the only one making money. I have a side business. I work at a farmer's market every weekend, and that brings in some money, but it's not a lot.
Gotcha.
But,
So what is the way we can serve you today, hon?
Well, I'm trying to broach the subject. From the car accident, I was off with a lot of medical bills. I paid off a lot of them, but about 6 months ago, my husband stopped paying for any and all of my debts completely. He is only paying off his debts. And I'm trying to broach that conversation, but whenever I try to, it's well, we don't have enough money. And I don't know. I'm concerned. I want some advice of, like, I don't understand why he's not wanting to
Are
pay
you
my
guys
debt.
okay? So you mentioned that you guys have $1,000 for baby step one. Is he working the debt snowball and he's paying minimum payments on everything, and then focusing a lot of money on the smallest debt?
Yeah. So actually, the smallest debt would be my medical bills. Right now, our debts are the medical bills, student loans, and car payment.
Okay. How much is your medical debt?
The last I checked was about $3,000.
Okay.
That's broken up over a couple different medical bills.
Okay.
I know one is like.
And are the student loans his?
They're both of ours. I have $10,000. He has $15,000.
And he's working on his $15,000, is what you're saying, with money that he's making.
Yes, and the car payment that came. He got the car before we were married.
Okay.
So
I'm confused. So when you say, why are you paying yours instead of mine since we're both married, what does he say?
It's like we don't have enough money. You know,
You have enough money.
hurting.
It's just a matter of what the order is.
Yeah.
You don't have enough money to pay all of them. You've only got enough money to pay a few, but why is he paying his instead of yours?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, he's not. There's something else going on.
And,
I mean, you're due an answer to that question. There's nothing wrong with you asking that question. I'm asking that question. If I were in your shoes, I would want to know because it sounds like he's planning an exit to me.
That's what it sounds like to me too. Yeah. And that's where I'm scared.
Yeah.
Because I'll be truthful. If I try to be as little of an expense as possible due to the nature of
that isn't how this marriage thing works. It's for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, and that includes car accidents. Mm-hmm. So it's not my wife needs to be a less of a burden to me to be worthy to be married to me. That's bullcrap.
Thank you.
Okay.
But the reason I'm saying this is because besides the medical bills, the only expense I have is I'm currently going through service dog school. And we're trying to pay that off. And thankfully, it's not that much. We're subsidized with some grants and stuff. But if we don't pay this off, it's not exactly a debt. It's more like a payment plan. You pay and then you get the dog when it's paid off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, honey, I think you have a marriage problem, okay?
Yeah.
And I think the two of you need to sit down with a marriage counselor.
Okay.
Because I can't tell what's going on between the traumatic brain injury, the other issues, the seizures, the other things issued with the car wreck, and then his behavior is in the context that the information that you've got that you brought to us, we can't understand why he's doing this. Mm-hmm. I don't see a logical reason for it. there may be an explanation, but I don't know what it is. And I think it's fair in with what all you've been through, and even if you hadn't been through that, it's fair for you to get an answer to the question.
Well, yeah, for sure. Especially if you guys were dealing with money one way. Sounds like this accident happened and stuff started shuffling, and then suddenly he's kind of turned course. So that's what I would want to get to the bottom of, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
And
I think I want to go see a marriage counselor.
Yeah.
And if he won't go without him. And I think you need to get some advice that's more in depth than a couple of goobs on the radio. And so that's, because I think I can't tell what's going on here for sure. I don't like the signals. I can tell you that. And I don't like the information I have, but I can't tell what's going on. These days, business as usual is anything but. Tariffs make trade policy a moving target, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow is probably tighter than ever. So if your business can't adapt in real time, you're in a world of hurt. That's why you need NetSuite by Oracle, trusted by more than 41,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions. You need to see what's happening, what's stuck, and what's costing you, and how to fix it. And NetSuite is the #1 cloud-based business management suite because it helps your business make the right decisions fast. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one place so you're not left shuffling a dozen different spreadsheets. That gives you the visibility you need to make quick decisions based on actionable data. And NetSuite AI automates everyday tasks so your team can focus on strategy. It's one system for full control and no guesswork to tame the chaos. And right now, if you're leading a business doing more than $1 million in annual revenue, download NetSuite's free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Amanda is in Phoenix. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks. My question today is how should me and my husband proceed with unknown medical expenses that are already racking up for our newborn daughter?
Oh,
Wow.
no.
What happened? What's she facing?
Yeah, well, we don't really know yet. This is our second baby. We had her in April, and she's just had a good number of health issues since birth. So we're doing genetic testing, neurology, the whole 9 yards, and we've been barely managing with our HSA, but that's depleted now. And we were in the ER 2 times this last week, so that has wiped out our emergency fund.
No. If you have an HSA, ER is 100% covered.
Oh, then maybe it's the FSA, the whatever money.
So you have health insurance, right?
Yes, we do
Most
have
health insurance 100% covers emergency room.
Oh, this was not covered.
Why?
Then I have no idea, but we paid $1,500 for the 2 visits, and we just put it on a credit card. So
why you submitted your insurance at the front when you walked into the ER and they didn't accept it?
Yes, no, they accepted it. We have a high deductible healthcare plan, so we haven't met our deductible for the year.
You haven't hit it yet.
Yeah, but ER is usually not involved in the deductible. It's usually 100%.
Well, we still had to pay. The registration came around and they collected our money. So
okay, you need to get on the insurance side of this, and that's because it sounds like you've got an ongoing process here. That this is going to be a
road to walk.
Yeah, you've got a journey ahead of you. Agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah, and so you're probably going to burn through deductible, and you're gonna become an expert on what insurance covers.
Yeah.
And that means you're not going to be shelling out $1,500 every 30 minutes here, So, because insurance is going to, once you burn through your deductible and you hit your stop loss, 100% of it's going to be covered.
Okay, that sounds good. Our deductible is $14,000,
Okay.
and so we have about $10,000 to hit that.
What's your
still.
stop loss?
I'm not too sure what that means.
Okay, what that means is after you, while you're hitting your deductible, what is the copay? 80/20?
Yeah, 80/20.
Okay, the 20 coming out of your pocket will only go so far, and after that, they cover 100%. That's what stop loss is.
Okay.
So, maximum out of pocket is what stop loss is.
Okay.
And so you need to find out what your max out of pocket is. So right now we know you got 10 grand more, that's for sure. And then you've got some more on copay beyond that. That's for sure. And I think you need to go back and revisit with your HR people and find out, or whoever's managing this health insurance, why an ER stay was not covered 100%, because they almost always are.
Okay.
And Amanda, this journey too, I mean, it takes so much work, and it's going to be so many phone calls talking to so many people, but it's worth it, because in the medical world, and what we see so often is when insurance screws up, they usually just assume the person on the other end is going to just take the bill, and they just do what they can, and they're just going to live their life, versus the people that actually fight it and stay on top of it, because there usually is money laying there. And again, if they screw it up and bill you wrong, most people don't have the perseverance to stay with it, to be calling the insurance and bugging them. So really press into that and really, really get an answer, because it could save you guys a lot, for sure.
What I'm trying to help with is this. Here's the visual. You've got this health challenges with a tiny baby, and so that just puts your heart in a blender every day.
Yes.
And it feels like, number two, that there's no end to the checks I'm going to write because of my love for this little baby, that these checks are going to be $1 million before I'm through.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is true. The baby has health challenges, and that puts your heart in a blender. Everybody who's got babies who's ever had one sick knows how you feel. Not exactly how you feel, but we've all had our breath taken away, and you get your breath taken away about every 45 minutes right now, okay?
Yeah.
And so, but that one is true. The second one, that this is going to bankrupt you and you're going to be $1 million in debt, is not true. Mm-hmm. And so what I want to do is get you have two burdens on you, both of which are overwhelming. I want to take the second one and quantify it and get it off of you. Here's what it's going to sound like. You're going to call them and deal with the ER thing, like I've told you 3 times already, because I'm a little pissed right now about this, okay? Number 2, not at you, but at them, okay?
Yeah.
Number 2, you're going to quantify what your out-of-pocket is on the deductible. Number 3, you're going to learn your copay after the deductible is met. Probably is 80/20. Most of the time it is, okay? Because you're in a high deductible HSA plan. The other thing, when you have a high deductible like this, usually you have a low stop loss or maximum out of pocket number. I'm guessing, based on my expertise and having seen 1,000 of these things, that your maximum out of pocket is probably 20 grand, including the deductible.
Okay.
Okay. It might be 30. It's not 100.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are not facing $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
You're facing 20, maybe 30,000. And that's nothing compared to number 1, which is dealing with the baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to relieve you of the financial stress that's added to this, so you can focus your emotional energy in the right place and your prayers in the right place, which is on the baby. But you've got to do business well, as Rachel said, with this insurance company, and make sure they're paying every stinking dime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Definitely. I haven't even, we just got back last night from the latest ER visit. So
well, it's easy to assume that this is that the medical bills are going to be endless, and they're going to be $1 million and bankrupt us.
Yeah.
It's easy to assume, and they're simply not.
Okay.
They're simply not.
So am I pausing the baby steps now?
Yes, everything.
Okay.
You're in the middle of a storm. Pause everything. Pile up cash.
Okay.
Yeah, take
Okay.
care of baby, take care of you. Yeah.
Okay.
I need $20,000 or $30,000.
And they're putting it on a credit card right now. Would you just have a medical bill, though, versus...
Have them bill you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the credit card because I just think of the high interest rate and dealing with credit card companies. I'd rather just have the...
Yeah, have them bill you. Anytime
They didn't even give us that
anytime.
option.
They didn't give you that
They said,
option.
How do you want to pay for this?
Yeah.
We just said, okay,
How I want
here's
to pay
the
for it is
card.
you're going to bill me because I just gave you the insurance card.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Wow.
But it's okay.
I
Yeah,
feel
but-
really
And if you
swindled.
can't do
No,
that, get
no,
your
yeah.
boss in here. And if he can't do it, get his boss in
Dave's
here.
about to fly to Phoenix.
I'm about to. Well, no, I'm serious, Mama Bear.
Go in there.
I'm serious, Mama Bear. They're messing with your baby here. Go for the throat.
Yeah.
This
okay.
is bull crap. These people start treating your baby like it's a dadgum widget on the end of a conveyor belt. And this medical industry versus the medical arts is driving me nuts. So how quick can we manage you and get you out of here? Kiss my butt. Take care of this kid and send me a bill. This is crazy. I'm serious. This is the world you're getting ready to live in. You're a patient advocate now.
Yeah.
And that means you are demanding service from a medical profession that's forgotten how to give it.
Yeah. I'll find my voice. I have
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I'm looking for.
My voice.
That's the one I'm looking for. And what I'm trying to do is get the burden off of you of the worry of $1 million along with the worry of we may have 5 years of surgeries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. We've had at Ramsey on our plan, we've had kids that spent $1 million worth of stay in NICU.
Mhm.
And the plan paid it. And it's a standard insurance plan. It's not because Ramsey's some kind of angel or something. It's just a dadgum insurance policy. And the insurance policy wrote the check. And it's happened more than once. I got a young crew around here. We have a lot of babies. 67 born in 1 year.
Amanda, I'm so sorry, though. That's just, from mom to mom, that just is so scary. So scary.
Yeah.
But you guys have this. You really do. You're going to be okay.
You call us back. We'll fight with you. We love you. We'll help you any way we can. Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys, I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And, you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me too.
They don't know what to do next.
Me
right?
too. I mean, you're going to have a crisis here. And, you got two options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the
right.
two options.
And
take care of your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance can replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad.
Yeah.
To just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282. Our question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. Why Refi works with borrowers who have defaulted private student loans. Even when other lenders won't help, they will. With a lower payment, a lower fixed rate, you can have a clear path forward and get this cleared up. Visit yrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
All right, today's question comes from Alice in Montana. My husband and I have been married for 21 years, and we have weathered financial struggles, including a past bankruptcy. I had a solid nursing career that allowed him to pursue real estate full-time. And in 2021, we had a strong year. We owed $82,000 in taxes for the year, and the money was available in his business account. I trusted him to handle everything, but I recently discovered he never paid the IRS. Instead, he used the money on business expenses in a failed side venture without telling me. Our CPA tried contacting him for months and eventually filed our taxes without signatures in early 2023 to avoid penalties. My husband also hid IRS notices from me. I found out recently when I signed for a certificate letter stating that the IRS intends to levy our home for $150,000. I feel blindsided and betrayed. My question is, should I buy him out using a second mortgage to cover the IRS or sell the home and walk away? Whew. Gosh, Alice.
Buy him. Oh, she's divorcing him. I don't know why you would buy him out.
Buy him out?
Buy him out means you're divorcing, I guess. I don't know what that means. You don't buy out somebody you're married to. Bail him out.
Do I bail him out? Maybe just pay for it? I don't know.
You can bail out your husband.
Do you use a second mortgage or do you sell the house? And is that all the penalties? But $82,000, and I'm confused. But the CPA filed their taxes without signatures?
Yeah, that's weird. That's illegal. Okay. It's a good way for the CPA to end up in jail. Let's see. I mean, almost all filings are done electronically, but the CPA that when ours does it requires us to sign a document allowing him to file it electronically.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not technically filing the tax return. Okay, I can't tell what's going on. This is a bunch of gobbledygook. What I can tell is that if you have an $82,000 tax bill for 1 year, that means you made $400,000 or $300,000. So if you're staying together and you're going to marriage counseling to try to regain trust and stop this ridiculous behavior of deception, if you're going to do that, then you've got this household income, you're nursing plus his $300K that he didn't pay taxes on if he makes $300K next year and doesn't blow it all in a side venture, and we have a game plan, we could clean this up real quick. That's, I guess, one direction. The other direction is you're getting a divorce and you're selling the house. Yeah. No, I would not bail him out. I would bail us out if we are staying together. But
and if we choose to rebuild this.
No, I'm not going to leave you with an unreliable, unresponsive ex-husband to pay off his taxes as a...
Well, she said we owed, so I'm wondering if it's part of hers.
She's nursing. They're withholding on her. We don't know what's going on here. I'm going to guess and say this is the whole tax bill is regarding him. And so the lien on your house is regarding him. So you need to do two things. Number one, if you're seeking a divorce, you're probably going to be selling the house. Number two, you're not responsible for the taxes in the event you get a divorce. You would file under what's called the innocent spouse provision, which is you were not aware of these taxes. You were not aware of the business activities that created these taxes. And so the IRS does not hold you liable, even if it was married filing jointly. And so it's called the innocent spouse provision, and you would need a tax attorney or a great CPA that knows how to work that. And that removes the IRS from you. Now, if it is a lien on a house that has both of your names on it and the house is sold, they can only take the $150,000 out of his portion then, if they have approved you for innocent spouse provision, and they should. It sounds like you qualify for that. So... But all of this only happens if you're divorcing. If you're staying together, you can file innocent spouse provision to keep them from coming after your income, which would probably be a good idea. But then the two of you have got to reestablish some footing on trust and betrayal and lies and deception, and then put all of our income in one pile to clean up the mess that he made. And that would include the $150,000 lien being removed from the house. very few times does the IRS get around. It takes them about 5 years to actually sell a house, to force the sale of the house. Very unusual for them to do that quickly. They'll pop a lien on there in a heartbeat. But to actually force the sale of the house to satisfy the tax lien, it takes them forever. And they're just not very competent at that level of collections. They'll get there eventually if you do nothing. And by the way, they'll turn the 150 into 400 before they get there in penalties and interest. So
if you stay together, get it cleaned up as quickly as possible.
If you're not staying together, see a CPA about innocent spouse provision. Talk to your divorce attorney about that, and then we're selling the house. And you're going to get your portion of the house clear. His portion has a $150,000 lien on it. I don't know how much value there is in this house. We don't have enough information. What a mess!
Sorry, Alice.
So it pops into my head that Tom Stanley, who wrote the book Millionaire Next Door in 1992, he's passed away in a car wreck, but he was an inspiration to a lot of us in this space, showing that people become millionaires starting from nothing. We followed up with that 40 years later with or 30 years later with the Ramsey study of millionaires, the largest study. We studied 10 times more people than he did, mainly not because we didn't like his study, but just because we wanted to. It was a PR stunt because people criticized the size of his study. So we ended up studying 10,167 millionaires and where money comes from. He wrote another book later called The Millionaire Mind, where he studied billionaires. And he found 39 correlating statistics or correlating life demographics and character qualities and so forth among these billionaires that he studied. And then he ranked them in order of most occurring among the study group to least occurring among the study group. The number one occurring thing among the billionaires that he studied, they were all self-made, meaning they started with nothing and became billionaires, 1,000 million. This is way more than a million. 1,000 million is a billion, okay? Number one correlating the most occurring item, value, whatever, inside of this study was they had fanatical levels of integrity. There is a high correlation between fanatical levels of integrity and the ability to build wealth. That's the point of that story. That would be the other end of the spectrum from the man in this email.
Mm-hmm. Lying to his wife, trying to get out of taxes, and yeah.
Yeah, and not returning the CPA's call, all these kinds of things, whatever. And so, duck and hide, lay in the ditch, duck into the shadows, try to move the shell, hope the P won't be there next time, run the scheme, run the scam, trying to find a shortcut, trying to find a get-rich-quick thing. I'm making good money in real estate, but I still got a side hustle that's screwing up. I find some way to burn money. That's the opposite end of the number one most occurring thing called integrity. So until the good news is integrity is a decision. He can just decide to be a man of integrity starting today. But if he doesn't, you got issues, sister. You got issues. Yeah, you're trying to drag a tired donkey across the finish line.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. All right, we all know this. The world is going bananas, and we're under huge pressure to perform and look like we're keeping it all together. Check this out. 76% of people globally agree that mental health care can help resolve personal problems, yet 6 out of 10 people still believe that society discourages people from asking for help. Listen to me. Real strength, I'm talking real bravery, comes from opening up about what you're dealing with and then doing something about it so you can be your best for yourself and for everyone else that you care about. If you're feeling the weight of the world, please talk to someone, anyone, a friend, a loved one, a family member, or a therapist. I see a therapist every week. If you're thinking about trying therapy, contact my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online therapy, so it's affordable and convenient for your schedule. To get started, just fill out a short online survey to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time, and it's easy and it doesn't cost any extra money. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Ramsey Radio to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey Radio.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck and wondering where your money's going, your first step is getting on a plan, a budget. Our team is hosting free budgeting trainings this month. You'll learn step-by-step how to make and stick to a budget using every dollar. Plus, you can get your biggest budgeting questions answered in a live Q&A. That might be the most valuable part. Spots are limited. Sign up for free at everydollar.com/webinar. Joseph is with us in Fort Worth, Texas. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain.
Cool. How can we help?
So I wanted to get your guys' opinion on bonds. I'm just starting to. I feel like I've just dipped my toe into stocks and things like that. But I've looked into oil and gas bonds, and I don't know if that's a good route. I have about $500 in my HSA that I want to use to invest in that. I have more money to invest, but I'm just asking specifically, I guess, about that, and then any other advice you have on just stocks and trading in general.
Okay. I don't buy bonds. The bond market in general is almost as volatile as the stock market and doesn't return as well. So it's pitched in the financial world as being safer than the stock market, but the actual data says it's not much safer. It's the volatility in the bond market comes from shifting interest rates, and so I have avoided bonds. I don't own a single bond, and I've got millions of dollars in the market. I don't own any single stocks because I don't like risk. I own mutual funds. A mutual fund is 90 to 200 different stocks. My HSA is in mutual funds because I've never actually used it. I bought the HSA the very first year that George W. Bush put that program out, and I filled it completely full every year ever since, and I've never touched it. Whatever medical we've had has been very minor, and I've just paid it out of my pocket, and that basically has become a yet another retirement account that is growing tax-free. For medical use and above 65, which will happen in September, I can pull it out with only paying taxes on it, no penalties, as if it were a retirement account. So I'm going to continue to fund that, and I'm not even going to pull it out at 65. But anyway, so all of that to say, I invest in mutual funds, and so if I put, I don't know, $100,000 into the market, 0% in single stocks, 0% in bonds, 100% in a type of growth stock mutual fund of some kind or another, and that's going to be 90 to 200 stocks in there. And so I've not bet. The volatility from single stocks comes from the lack of diversification, meaning that if you put $100,000 in one company, whatever that company does causes you to take your breath away, positively or negatively. And so it's a lot more risk. But if you're instead of being in one company, you're in two, then if one company goes crazy, the other one's sitting there, you got less risk. If you're in 200, you've way limited the risk, and the only risk you're riding is just the risk of the general stock market as a whole then, and not simply betting the farm on one particular company based on your golfing buddy's hunch, which is how most people play single stocks. And so I don't trade stocks on a daily basis. I don't trade mutual funds on a daily basis. I have the buy and hold tortoise in the tortoise and the hare. The slow and ugly guy wins the race every time. I'm perfectly content being the slow and ugly guy because I win the race every time.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard message for, I want to say maybe the younger you are, the harder it is to be like, okay, this isn't exciting. You know what I mean? Like there's crypto, there's all these things happening, and it's like, ooh, I could make a return there, do this thing. There's like this like game to it,
Well,
and when there's not really
temptation to be a player.
Yeah, when there's not a game to it, and you just kind of just keep investing,
It's
and
just boring as
that's
crud.
it. Like there's just
boring.
not that much excitement around it. Usually, you're going to end up
If you're investing is
having
exciting,
perseverance.
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And it's kind of depressing. I mean, seriously, it is a little bit like.
Yeah, if your broke friends are impressed with your investing, you're probably doing it wrong. You know, because it's always some broke guy that runs up to me and goes, "I know this guy that put $10 million in Bitcoin," and I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you don't too. I bet you're full of crap." You know, and seriously, people just come up with this stuff. They pull it out of their ear. People that aren't really doing it.
And you know, there are so many trends and so many things that kind of come and go. And so it is the longevity of what you're putting your money into as well, which means it's been around for so long that no one really talks about it because it's that boring. It's not new and exciting.
Yeah.
And so
don't you wish you bought a single family house on East Ridge Drive in Antioch, Tennessee, a suburb of Nashville in 1978 that I sold a guy when I was 18 years old, got my real estate license. I sold one of my high school buddies a house for $42,250.
This is why we hate the boomers.
Do you know what that house is worth
now? This is why we're so mad at y'all.
You know what that house is worth right now? Yeah. Don't you wish? But see, that's what you want to.
That's who you want to be.
No one ever told you that this was going to be, you know, that you're going to make $1 million in 20 minutes. But in 40 years, you did make $1 million because that's what that house is worth now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So.
And by the way, it's an old house now. So it's a really old house.
Still worth a lot, though.
It's an antique. But yeah. But I mean, that's just a cute little brick house. Nothing fancy.
Okay, so for Joseph, so you're saying mutual funds, but something else that I feel like people are talking more and more about is like Vanguard index funds, like more the S&P and all of that too.
That's been talked about for a while. Vanguard was started by John Bogle because he discovered that some 60% of the mutual funds do not outperform the Standard & Poor index. And he said, if I just put it in the index, I beat 6 out of 10 times, I beat the average mutual fund out there. And people that follow that is literally passive investing. Mm-hmm. People that follow that we call them Bogleheads. They call themselves Bogleheads. And he started Vanguard, the whole Vanguard company on that basis. Mm-hmm. And it's very successful. I invest in the S&P some.
Yeah.
I park money there, like when I'm piling up cash to get ready to do the next real estate deal. When I make some money at Ramsey and I'm just putting it somewhere for a year or whatever till I get enough to do the next deal. And I'll park it over there. But in my retirement accounts, I can find mutual funds that outperform the S&P, and I have consistently for 30 years outperformed the S&P, and it's really not rocket science. But there's only 40% of them. So you just got to look and go, does this thing outperform the S&P? Mm-hmm. It's right there in the dadgum prospectus. It shows up when on the website. Yeah. It shows up when you're sitting with your
and that's
financial
within
advisor.
Your HSA, 401k, Roth, like all the just standard retirement investing. So Joseph, 15% of your income. Be putting in all of that, and then if you max all that out one day because you have a high income, then you know there's other things.
It's the shortest distance to $1 million. It's the shortest distance to wealthy. It's not bonds. It's not single stocks. It's not day trading. It's not crypto. There's no data that says it is. The only data says 401k, Roth IRA, loaded with good growth stock mutual funds, and get your house paid off. That's what all the wealth building data says for the first $1 to $5 million worth of net worth. And the people that have $1 to $10 million net worth that we studied in the millionaire study, that's what we found over and over and over again. We did not find them playing trends. We did not find them playing fads. They were not gold bugs. They were not Bitcoin boys, Bitcoin bros. They were not any of that. They were just like, they're the tortoise, the boring, steady, every month the money comes out of my check into the 401k and I got a match.
And then they call us at 58, and they're like, well, we're looking to retire. How much is in the 401k? And they're like, 800,492. You know what I mean? And then our Roth has this, and you're like, holy crap.
There you are.
Well done.
And they call this show every day. And every weekend they have for 30 years. So that's the end of that speech, Joseph. But thanks for letting me step up onto the old apple box and just give it a yell. This is the Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Donovan is with us in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hi, Donovan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I really appreciate you guys taking my call. And I am calling because I am currently 22. I just turned 22, and I have a real estate business that from the time I started, about 3.5 years ago, was doing really well. We were bringing in lots of money, and everything was going great up until about this year, where our revenue dropped off significantly.
What kind of real estate business? You're a real estate broker?
No, residential investment, like fix and flip.
You fix and flip, and you're 22 years old. And your revenues have been going up consistently for 3.5 years.
Until this year.
Okay. Why did they slow down this year?
So where I am, the market really slowed down a lot, and we were, going from bringing in about $1 million to $1.3 million every month from all the deals to now bringing in $300,000 to $400,000 per month, and I'm struggling to keep up with, paying all the expenses, like servicing the loans, paying the team, paying the subcontractors that are doing work on the house. Thankfully, I've never missed payroll or anything like that, and I've never been late on my loans. However, I definitely feel the struggle, and in a few more months of this, the reserves are going to be completely wiped out.
This is like Dave 30 years ago.
So
I feel like you just described a little bit what you used to do.
That's why I actually called you guys, because I heard Dave went through a similar situation.
You own how much real estate?
So right now, I did the math yesterday, just over $15 million.
And it's all for sale?
It's not all for sale. Some properties are still under renovations, but some are for sale already.
Okay, $15 million in property doesn't generate $100 million, or doesn't generate $1 million profit a month.
Yes, but we did about 80 houses last year, and that's not in just straight revenue from selling the houses. That's just, gross what we brought in, what comes into the bank.
So that's not profit, that's gross.
Correct.
So you're just churning money. Okay, so
yes, correct.
So $12 million in total churn was what you were doing, and now you're not. Now the rate of churn is slowed down. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, the houses are taking much longer to sell. The budgets are, getting overspent.
Now, what's your baseline overhead running you a month?
So as far as overhead, like paying my office staff and marketing and everything, we're about $50,000 to $60,000 a month, depending on the month. However, with paying all the subcontractors and servicing the loans I have on the property, we're about $650,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you've discovered the downside of debt in doing this. And so you got your butt in a crack. Well, you're going to do two things to survive because you're also not as profitable as you thought you were. Once you started
100%.
net actual taxable income for all these dollars that you're spending it's not been worth it because you're leveraged to your
100%.
freaking eyeballs. So,
yeah.
Are you married?
No.
Good. Okay. Well, I mean, there's three levers to pull to survive. One is you get your volume moving again, and no kidding, you already knew that. Two is you start dropping some prices on these properties to move them quickly to increase the velocity of the turn, because your turn velocity is what's killing you. And
right.
So
I agree 100%.
And that's a function of price right now. And so you're going to start having you're going to put some stuff on sale, and you're going to pick which ones which ones I've got the most margin in that I can take or which ones I can move that are price sensitive neighborhoods that I can move quickly and get out of and start turning these out. And as your subcontractors are finishing, you're going to start trimming that by 30 or 40% until you're going to build your volume up more carefully next time. But you're going to get this thing down to half a volume of what it was and make it profitable, and then move towards a debt-free process and start doing these flips with debt-free. Do a fourth as many and do them debt-free, and you've got a sustainable business. The business you have is not sustainable. It's going to come down around your ears before it's over. And you're just starting to see the cracks in the armor right now in the theories that you're running off of. You're doing tremendous volume. What the volume you're doing is very impressive for a 22-year-old. I mean, if you're telling me the truth on these numbers and your story is the truth, and I don't have any reason to believe it's not, it's very impressive what you've done. But you did ignore the risk that you were taking with the leverage. But the amount of work you've been doing and generating is very impressive. You're turning 80 freaking houses a year. I mean, that's...
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And if you can do that and still do 30 with zero debt, you've got a sustainable business. Move a little slower, and you've got something that no matter what the economy does, it doesn't take you out. One little bump. I mean, the Fed does an interest rate adjustment half a point up, and they did not do that today, or an eighth of a point up today, and if that had happened today instead of them keeping it even today, you'd be in an even bigger mess than you are. You understand, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Thank God it's continuing to trend at least a little bit down, and as long as those rates trend down a little bit, you're going to be there. I'm surprised West Palm Beach has dropped 70% in your volume. I'm really shocked that the market slowed down that far there. It's not slowed down that much many places, not year over year.
And where we are a bit north.
But not year over year. I mean, year over year, that volume drop is 70% drop year over year, because 24 was not that much different than 25. Now, if you said over 20...
24... Sorry?
Yeah, if you said it was a 70% drop over the year 2020, or 21, where people were coming out and the volume was huge and the prices increases. So anyway, get your volume up, lower your prices, start shedding subs as you finish these jobs, and quit carrying the burden of all of them. You may have to shed some office staff.
I'm going to say the office
staff, you may have to get that down. But you've got to get this nut where you can keep it cracked every month, whether it's overhead nut or variable expenses associated with the deals, and then that'll get you out. But everything's on sale starting today. You got to have a sale. And you got to because that's going to get your velocity back up, and maybe you can turn the corner before it crashes down around your head. I hope you can, because what you've done is impressive. It's just sad you did it the way you did it, so it's going to come hit you in the face. But the work you're doing is amazing. If you've been trying to describe this Ramsey stuff to one of your friends or relatives and you know it's a mouthful, we'll help you. We've got the Ramsey 101 playlist. Helps you get started. Ramsey 101. Entry-level class, right? And we've got several clips on there like what are the baby steps, how to pay off debt using the debt snowball, how to work with your spouse, how to build an emergency fund, and more. The most asked questions, kind of the best of, so to speak, and the Get Started list as well. It's the 101. So click the link at the top of the show notes to open Ramsey 101 playlist on YouTube, then text it or DM it or send it to a group chat. Just say, hey, think this might help. If you're listening on radio, just jump on the YouTube channel and you can find the playlist featured there. One share, one step can change everything for one person in your life. Thank you for doing that. It's all free, by the way. Mary's in Tallahassee, Florida. Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm well, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my ex-husband and I accumulated a significant amount of tax debt. We are divorced. In a couple years ago, a federal tax lien was placed on the home. The home has now been sold. I do not live in that home, but I was under the impression upon research on the IRS website that a federal tax lien, if it's placed on a home at the closing, the amount that is owed should be taken out, that is owed to the IRS at the closing.
Yeah, otherwise the title is not clear.
That did not happen. My ex-husband was aware of the lien, the closing attorney was aware of the lien, and they both walked away, and it did not get settled. And so I don't know if I have a leg to stand on. I don't know what to do here.
Well, the funds were dispersed to who?
To my ex-husband.
It's because he then owned the house out of the divorce.
Because he got that house out of the divorce, yes.
The lien is on both of you?
Apparently right now, I've had many conversations with the IRS, and I can't, the lien is on him, I think, but, the notice of federal tax lien that we got in the mail, I have a copy of it, it has both of our names.
What was the lien from? Who didn't pay taxes?
Well, it's both of us combined.
I know. Both of you didn't pay taxes?
Correct. I mean, because it was large, it was a large amount owed, and we just couldn't do it.
Were you self-employed, both of you, or what? How did you not pay your taxes?
Well, at one point through these many years, he was self-employed, and he failed to do the obligatory, quarterly taxes, and so that did not help matters.
And then, so how much is the tax lien?
We owe about $65,000.
Okay, and how much of that was on his income that he produced?
That I am unsure of. That I do not know.
Why? I mean, you should have a theory. Were you working a salaried job?
Yes.
Were you not having taxes withheld on your salaried job? Of course.
Yes, I was, and I even had additional taxes taken out.
Okay, so he was working a business and was not filing his quarterlies and not filing taxes or not paying his taxes on his business. That's where this came from, right?
Well, some of the years, not all of them. Some of the years, I'm not sure why we owed so much, to be honest with you, Dave. But we were on a payment plan for a while. Then, we got divorced. The payment plan we stopped paying on, financial stress. Now I've looked into getting on another payment plan, and that payment plan is going to be way too much a month to afford.
But the IRS is not trying to collect from you.
The IRS is not trying to collect from me. I do have my own personal debt from last year. It's
No, I'm talking about on this particular lien amount.
They
don't even act like you're there.
I'm assuming no. But then when I go onto the IRS website, it does talk about a lien. But then when I call them,
a lien is not if they're chasing your husband, they would have put a lien against anything that had his name on it. This house used to also have your name on it, but that doesn't mean you're liable for the taxes necessarily. Were y'all doing married filing jointly?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's the only reason it would have your name on it. You probably could escape using innocent spouse provision. You need some tax advice from a pro. They can get into this instead of you talking to the IRS, because, you're talking to a kid in a cubicle at the IRS.
Exactly. I know.
A different one every time you call.
Oh, yeah, and it takes hours each time.
Yeah, so no, I'm not doing that anymore. You need to hire somebody. What do you make now?
Money-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, I make a very decent living.
What do you make now?
I make $105,000.
Okay, good. So you make enough to jump online at RamseySolutions.com and click on ELP for taxes, endorse local provider for taxes, find the person we endorse for taxes in Tallahassee, Florida, go sit down with them and tell them the story and tell them to get to the bottom of it and give them $500 and they'll do it.
Okay.
That's what you've got to do. I don't know. I can't tell what happened with this house. I've done a bazillion real estate transactions that had IRS liens on them, and 100% of them got paid because the title's simply not clear.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, who?
I don't know how
why
this. I don't know how this happened.
If it was
But
purposeful,
I think
accidental, sloppy, was it like? How did that not
the
happen?
buyer would have needed a title insurance
right,
policy.
if they went, yeah.
Especially if they got a mortgage.
Yep.
They would have been required to get a title insurance policy. You can't get title insurance on something with an IRS lien on it. And so that's what's weird here. So I think your ex-husband's feeding you a line of bull crap is what I think.
What do you think? You think he paid it and
no,
he's lying to her?
I don't know what happened. But what she described would be
so hard to pull off.
It would be just ludicrous for the closing attorney to allow a seller to sign a warranty deed or a special warranty deed knowing there's an IRS lien against this house, knowing the title's not clear. That would just be so messed up. I just can't believe it happens.
Yeah.
There's no way to get around this and it turn out good for everybody. A title insurance company is going to come down. They're not going to allow it. So something different is happening than what she thinks is happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can't tell. So anyway, get somebody to help you get to the bottom of it, Mary. It's possible that they simply are not after you and it's not your problem. And that's my hope. That's what I hope you find when you get to the bottom of it. Roy is in Iowa. Hi, Roy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Hi, Roy.
Hi, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you so much can you hear me?
Sure. What's up?
Pretty good, Pretty. Thank you for answering my phone call, Mr. Ramsey. I have a question. I have a trucking company I've been running for the past 1 year. So I started with one heavy-duty truck, and then I added a couple of more trucks as well. So, everything was good, but there were a lot of hiccups and all that good stuff. So, just a couple of months ago, one of my trucks burned down. The driver just sent me a video. The truck was set on fire and all that good stuff. It was very horrible. But, the reason I'm calling is because I'm most of the time stressed out about this business. Not because a lot of people complain about the market. I'm not complaining about the market. I'm very satisfied with whatever the rates are being provided. They're enough to feed the stomachs, pay the bills, and, keep the show running. But what I'm concerned about is the breakdowns of the trucks in this industry. They can cost you a lot of money, sometimes 20 grand, 30 grand, it can even go worse.
So what you need to do when you close the books each month and you determine what your profits are, you need to start having a line item in your monthly budget that sets aside money for future repairs. So a percentage of your profits, a large percentage of your profits at your stage of business, 20, 30% of your profits before you take it home to eat. Quit acting like you made that much money, because you haven't yet until you paid for the repairs. So if you make $10,000 a month, I want you to set $3,000 aside or $4,000 aside or whatever 30 or 40% is for repairs. And I want you to build a repair war chest. And it's called retained earnings in business. And so build up your emergency fund inside your business. But you do that by setting a set percentage of your profits each month as if it was an expense, because it is a future expense and you're just setting the money back for it. When tackling your debt or building wealth, people can sometimes forget about the defense while they're playing offense, and that's called insurance. Having the right coverage as opposed to too little or too much can impact how long it takes to get out of debt. Skimping on insurance might seem like saving, but when life happens, it's easy to fall back into debt without the right safety net. The right insurance acts as a shield. The wrong insurance acts as a drain on your budget. So, how do you know if you got the right coverage? We have a free coverage checkup. It's a free, did I mention it's free, online resource that creates personalized insurance action plan. RamseySolutions.com/checkup. To take the coverage checkup, click the link in the description if you're on podcast or YouTube. Don't miss this. Did I mention it's free? Haley's in New York City. Hi, Haley. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, to get to the point, I'm kind of calling in just to see if it's possible for me to become a stay-at-home mom. There are some other factors outside of that will affect it. And I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to a lot of this stuff just because all I've ever known is to work. But it's seeming to cost me more going into work than it is to not. One of my children is going to be potentially going in for brain surgery within the next month, and she's going to have to need one of her parents home, obviously after for the care. And I'm really stressing out about it because I get paid biweekly, and I just brought home a $500 paycheck, a biweekly paycheck, and it went to pretty much nothing because everything is so expensive nowadays. And my fiance is switching jobs at the end of the month to make us more money, and I'm just wondering if it would all be possible because we do have 2 vehicle loans. That's about the only debt that we have together. We are not married. Other than he does owe some, I think, $3,000 to the government, but that's been on my mind lately, just more because of the surgery that is upcoming, and I just need to know where to go at this point with the plan of everything and the plan of action.
Okay. What does he make, hon?
He makes $25 an hour where he is currently. That will be increasing.
You're in New York City?
Well, we are actually quite a bit upstate from New York City.
Okay. I didn't think you're in Manhattan on $25 an hour.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I currently make $20.50 an hour, but I work per diem.
What does he do?
He's a welder.
And how old is he?
He's 24 as well as
Why
mine.
is he only making $25 as a welder? It should be $50.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. I had questioned that, but I guess it's something to do with a union. So,
well, leave the union and go be a freelance welder and make $50.
Right.
I'm dead serious. Okay.
That's what I had said too.
So you guys are 24. You have a brand new baby. How old is your baby? This having surgery?
She just turned 1. I have 2 older kids as well.
Okay. All with him?
No.
Okay. Is she his?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to help you with the money question, and then I'm going to give you some advice that you didn't ask for from just an old guy that loves you, okay?
Okay.
It's irresponsible for him and you to not be married when you have a child facing a brain surgery.
I understand.
Get married this weekend. You, my darling, are extremely vulnerable right now.
Right.
And Rachel and I have taken calls from people over and over where something like this happens and the guy jets.
Okay.
And I'm not accusing your guy of that. Okay.
Right.
You just have no protection legally.
I want to protect you and this child and I want him to prove he's going to be there, and I want him to put a ring on it this weekend.
Right.
Okay. That's going to help you. That's the old guy advice. Okay.
Okay.
And then I want him to get a better job.
Okay.
The answer to the question is, can you stay at home? Well, for the short term, you don't have a choice. You're going to be at home.
Right.
And y'all are going to have to figure it out. He may have to work 3 jobs. You may have to work some side gigs when he's at home.
Sell these cars so you don't have payments every month.
Yeah. How much? You may have to sell some cars and get rid of these car payments. But you're going to have to do some stuff because the care of this child is number one. Agreed?
Correct. Yes.
So the answer to your question overall, mathematically, can I stay at home with the kids, like a permanent decision, is yes, as soon as you can live on his income.
Right.
That's the math, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to do a budget based on his income, meaning that we can pay our rent, we can eat, we can do lights, and pay car payments or get rid of the car payments. We have to create a life that is within his income, and then you can stay at home mathematically without creating a mess.
Okay.
As a permanent decision. As a short-term decision, you're going to be at home.
Right.
Because you got to take care of a brain surgery situation. Wow,
I
kiddo.
just took 2 weeks off of work because the other issue that we had been dealing with was about 2 months ago, my daughter was also assaulted at daycare, so we had to find a different daycare provider, and then we lost the second one. So I do have, as of right now, 2 weeks off of work until somebody else can start, and that's mainly what's been freaking me out a little bit is trying to make the decision of whether or not just to stay home, because I drive a Tahoe and I work 45 minutes away from my house. So between gas and childcare.
What do you owe on the two cars?
Well, we have a van and we have a Tahoe. The Tahoe is about $25,000 because I rolled over from a vehicle that I had to trade in, and he owes about $13,000 on the van.
Yeah, the Tahoe's killing y'all.
Yeah.
So we got to get it sold, and we got to get that debt paid off, and that's going to involve income coming from one or both of you, and then that's going to enable you to fit your life within his income, and his income has to come up for that to happen. That's what what I think the math is going to tell you.
What do you do for a living?
I work in a medical laboratory at a hospital, but I only work 3 days a week as of right now.
Okay, I was wondering if there's, a way that you guys tag team this, where he works all day, comes home, tags you in, possibly, and you go do a shift or two, right? And maybe twice a week or something. Like if you guys can tag team each other just to bring in some income for this time to get this stuff paid off.
Because if you don't have any car payments, you can fit your life within his income a lot quicker. And the way you get there is create extra income on the short term.
Right.
And that's what
is the surgery date, has it been set, Haley?
It has not yet. She has an MRI this Friday morning.
So you'll know more information probably after that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the primary thing I want out of the whole discussion is for the baby to be taken care of. And the secondary thing is to take care of the short-term time that you're off work. And then the third thing is to answer the question of what must be true that's not true today for us to be able to live on his income. And that would probably be getting rid of the Tahoe debt, getting rid of his car debt, getting his income up. That's probably when you sit down to do your budget what you're going to figure out. Because I don't know that you're going to do this on $25 an hour from one person.
Yeah, no.
I don't know that, and have 3 kids. I don't know that you're going to be able to do it. You're probably not breaking even on daycare and Tahoe payments, so I agree with you on that, with you working 3 days a week. So you're probably not losing much by losing that job if you lose the Tahoe payment by getting it sold, and or even if you have to finance the difference as a standalone personal loan.
Yeah.
And that to cover the upside down amount.
Yeah, but I would really talk to him, Haley, and look at some options, because this is it's a pretty vital situation you guys are in. I mean, like we were saying, you don't have a choice after she comes home from surgery. You have to be there to take care of her. So there's choices that we all have to make in a situation like this that we don't want. So even if he wants to stay where he is, work-wise, he may not have a choice. He may have to leave the union and go figure out something else.
Make more money. As a welder, he can make more than 25, for sure.
I'm so sorry, though. It's a lot.
Wow.
Very stressful.
You had a lot on you, kiddo. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 10:4. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Andrew Tobias said, you want 21% interest risk-free? Pay off your credit card. Work. Danielle is in Salt Lake City. Hey, Danielle, what's up?
Hey, good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Hey, so my husband and I, to keep it short and sweet, we applied for this program. It's basically a rent-to-own program sponsored by the state. It is a 15-year term, and we cannot buy the home until the end of that term. But essentially, all of our rent payments would go towards equity on that home. My holdup is that we'll be basically renting for 15 years. And we are only in baby step 2 right now, so we don't have an emergency fund, but our debt is only like $6,000, so not a ton.
Okay. I think your holdup was a good analysis. I would not do this.
No?
No, not under any circumstances would I do this. No. I would get out of debt. I'd build an emergency fund. I'd start saving for a down payment on a house. No, I would not rent for 15 years on purpose.
Yeah, so much changes, Danielle, in 15 years, if you think about it. Life, I mean, it's just crazy. Think about 15 years ago for you, right? I mean, it is, and to be locked into something.
If you never close on it, 100% of the money went to rent.
For 50, I mean.
Well, our rent payment right now would be the exact same.
If you never close on it, 100% of it went to rent. I'll give you 100% chance you never close on it. You're not going to stay there 15 years. Too much happens in life. Crap, the roof on the thing will be 15 years old. The dishwasher will be 15 years old. Stuff's going to start breaking left and right. That's if it's brand new when you move in it.
Danielle, why did you guys?
It is a brand new home.
Why did y'all decide this and not just have a mortgage and build equity on your own? And why are you guys using this program?
Well, we were building a savings account and trying to save up money, but we had a baby. So all of our emergency funds went to paying that down, and we're still kind of working on that.
Yeah.
Good. I love it. So you get that last $6,000 cleared. You build the emergency fund, and then you go you start saving for a house. How old are you?
23, and my husband's 24.
Yeah. Please don't do this.
Well, the thing is, we can get out of the rent program. We're not signing for 15 years.
Don't sign up, but don't sign anything else. Just don't do it at all. Please don't do it. It's not good. It's not good for you. You called and asked, so I'm going to tell you the truth. How do I visualize 33-year-old Danielle in her best life? It's not 10 years into a 15-year rent program, I can tell you that.
You could be so much better off, Danielle.
Yeah, you'll be so much better off at 33.
Yes. I mean, seriously, think about it. It's going to take you guys a couple of years. Don't rush into a house. You guys are fine.
You got time.
Get yourself in a position and then actually start building money for you. As you guys when you finally buy a house for you guys.
If you buy a house in 4 years, that's 11 years sooner than the plan you're talking about.
And people are paying off their homes in 7 to 9 years using this program. So you could have a paid off house, completely yours. Before
you would even be buying this other one.
Yes.
No.
There's a reason these programs exist, Danielle. It's because people are not in good financial situations to buy houses. So don't buy a house.
Yeah.
It's you guys.
You're
don't
not ready
do it.
yet. You're not ready
I think
yet.
all the lights are flashing.
You got plenty of time to do this.
Yes.
Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Your instinct the wisest thing you said is, the thing that's bothering me is I'm going to be renting the whole time. And that really, really, really means a lot. It should be bothering you.
And this may not be the case, but I'm going to just say it out loud because I see it. Salt Lake City, it's kind of become a small little LA. The amount of lifestyle and wealth and keeping up out of that city is pretty unbelievable. So I don't know if there's any level of comparison, Danielle, of what you're living in, as everyone's just doing really well around you. I don't know, but I see more and more of that.
Really?
Coming out of Salt Lake. Yes.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Okay. I should get out more. Joseph is in Columbia, South Carolina. Hey, Joseph, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if it would be a good idea to sell my paid-off truck to help pay off some debts and start a good savings.
How much is the truck worth?
I've gotten one estimate, and it was for $21,000.
And what do you make a year?
I'm currently making about $47,000 a year.
You broke up. I'm sorry. You make what a year?
$47,000.
$47,000.
Okay. Yeah, your phone's messing up. $47,000, and you have a $20,000 truck. Okay. Are you single?
I have a girlfriend.
Okay, you're single. How old are you?
22.
Okay. Single or married are the two options, okay? So you're
He's in a relationship,
You're
though.
22. You're dating someone. That's good. And you have a $20,000 truck that's paid for. How much debt have you got?
I have $4,200 to the IRS and $2,000 on a credit card before I heard about you.
Okay. How did you get behind with the IRS at 22 years old?
So last year I took a job as a contractor, so I was basically self-employed, and just taxes is how I have that debt.
Yeah. Are you now?
No, I changed jobs, so now I'm on a W-2.
So if you ever were a contractor again, you know how to handle it so that doesn't happen again, right?
Yes,
okay,
lesson learned.
Good. Okay, good. So both of these are lessons learned. Okay, so $6,200, $47,000. You like the truck?
I do. I really like it, but I'm just trying to think long term what would be better for me.
I appreciate the maturity of that statement, but for $6,000, I would not sell a $20,000 truck that I like.
I wouldn't either.
When I am making 47, I would rather work 3 or 4 weekends and some overtime and live on beans and rice and not see the inside of a restaurant, and my date be throwing Frisbee for a while, and let's get these 6,000 knocked out real fast. I'd rather do that than sell my truck.
Okay.
Because I like my truck too, by the way. I'm not selling it, so I drove it today.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely something I wasn't really ecstatic to do, but I was just thinking, maybe.
Yeah, things to sell.
I would rather you get control of your budget and tighten it up, and that's a lesson that'll help you anyway in case this dating relationship gets more serious. And that's a lesson that'll help you become a millionaire by the time you're 30 and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, versus like a sweeping, just I'll sell one thing and just fix everything, fix the issue.
Yeah.
Where there's something about
I do think you've learned both your lessons on these two things. I'm not worried about that part of it. But I love the idea of you gutting this out by pinching your dollars and making them scream.
Yeah.
And then that also has the benefit of letting you keep a really nice truck. And I'm pretty cool with all that. But, she's going to have to put up with you being a cheapskate for a month or two while you knock this out. And that's probably a pretty good relationship test anyway.
To see if she sticks around.
Yeah.
If Joseph calls back and says he's single, then we know we may have messed that one up for you, Joseph.
Well,
no, I'm sure she's
it wouldn't
great.
be the first time I've messed it up for
great.
somebody. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, but no, it's But it's a good thought, though, because, and people sometimes ask on a larger scale, should I sell my house to get out of, $40,000 of debt and all of that? And
not usually.
Yep, not usually.
Usually you're better off to work your way out of it, unless there's some other reason to sell the house, other reason to sell the truck. I hate the truck. Well, it's a stupid thing anyway, but no, he likes his truck, and so I'm pretty good with that. Good show, Rachel. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, you guys, I was shocked to learn that 88% of you out there are sharing The Ramsey Show. I mean, that is so incredible. Thank you so much. And I want to tell you that we're making it even easier to share. So this June, we have pulled together the brand new Ramsey 101 YouTube playlist, a quick start collection of how to get started walking the Ramsey plan. Now, this playlist is perfect for that one person in your life who needs help winning with money and just doesn't know where to start. So here's what's inside: what the baby steps are and why they actually work, how the debt snowball helps you pay off debt fast, and how to build wealth and invest for the future, and so much more. So here's what you need to do. Click the link at the top of the show notes. It'll take you straight to the YouTube playlist. Copy it, text it, send it in a group chat. Just say, hey, I thought this might help. Because one playlist shared at the right time could be the turning point. One share, one playlist, one step could change everything for that one person in your life. So click the link, share the Ramsey Show, and let's help someone out there start winning with money.